it will be in your interest. And so I only one thing to say: good, have a nice day and good job.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I would like to give now the floor to Dr. Kato Trompeta from National Technical University of Athens, which is the project coordinator of the imPURE project, which will give us an introduction on the project. So, Kate, you can start sharing your presentation.
Thank you very much, Stefania, for the introduction, and also Alberto Nicolini for the organization of the webinars. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of the coordination team and Professor Kostas Charitidis, who is the coordinator of imPURE project. So in this presentation, you will see the outline of imPURE project, just to know what the project is dealing with. So just to know which is the consortium, the main concept and goal, our objectives, the key milestones for our success, and the impact of the project generally in the society, especially now that we are dealing with such a difficult condition with COVID crisis. So what was imPURE's contribution actually in the call requirements? We want to focus, first of all, on the production of new products, as you may see in the webinar, and this will be done by repurposing of industrial injection molding lines. Our target is to have flexible industrial lines. That's why we have enabled additive manufacturing for the preparation of new modular molds. We focus also on automation, and that's why we are using sensors and machine learning approaches in order to automate the production and upgrade the industrial lines that are included in the consortium. Finally, we also want to train the operators to know about new materials, for example, nanocomposite materials, and also this kind of automations and modularity of the systems. That's why we are using digital twins for their training. Our consortium consists of 19 partners. We have 4 industries, 9 small medium enterprises, research technological organizations, and 1 collaborative hospital that works as end user of our project. Our EU contribution is close to 6 million euros with a total budget of 7 million euros. What is our main goal? imPURE's main goal is the reorientation and repurposing of production capacities to meet the urgent needs of societies for vital medical supplies and equipment. As you may see, we start from material really high, 6, and we are targeting to reach TRL 8. This will be implemented with 3 main objectives. According to the first objective, we have to exploit and repurpose the existing pilot lines for the production of new and critical medical supplies. Our second objective is to design and develop modular molds for injection molding. And as a final objective, we have to assure a broad distribution in the European Union of the medical supplies that we are going to produce. The concept can be summarized in 3 main targets. The reduction of the manufacturing duration. This can be done with the molds and inserts manufacturing with automatic techniques. The line repurposing and the production of critical medical supplies with new designs. Regarding the produced quantity of the critical medical supplies, we have an estimated number of 1,000 pieces to be produced within 1 day for each case. As you may see in the next, we are targeting on face masks, oximeters, vaccine spikes, and ventilator accessories. Also, one of the targets is the recycling of the materials. So we have a goal of 96% of the materials to be used to be totally recycled, either directly during the injection molding process or at the end of life of the critical medical supplies after their use. For this case, we are considering both thermoplastic and elastomers. The recycling can be done either by mechanical recycling or by chemical, for example, with a patented devulcanization procedure developed of one of our partners that you will hear also in the next. So how imPURE responded to the shortages in the critical medical consumables and what are our innovations? First, we have to see how we will manage the reorientation and repurposing of the injection molding production lines. We want to have flexible and fast production lines that can be easily repurposed and adapted to the current needs. For this target, we have consider a fast-track modular mold development and repurposing enabled by additive manufacturing. Through additive manufacturing, we are targeting to develop interchangeable inserts for a swift change of the production for different critical medical consumables. We are also developing antimicrobial polymeric materials to reduce pathogen spreading using nanomaterials. Then we have also supporting activities, for example, numerical modeling, design optimization, process simulation, and inline inspection. We are using digital twins for speed up the processing, for virtual testing, remote monitoring, and for the operators training. Finally, our target, and also the target of this webinar, is to have really accurate supply chain management through supply chain online platforms and real-time data analytics. We are using also cloud manufacturing techniques and services, automation services for the optimal configuration methods for the injection molding procedures. And finally, we have the target to increase the industrial competitiveness with fast product adaptation, reducing time to market. Here you may see a summary for the core partners involved in the repurposing of industrial lines. We have started with the case of Steel Goma, who is expert on technical rubber and plastic customized products. And this is our successful story, our successful paradigm, since already an ergonomic reusable respirator from silicon has been developed, the Bergamask, which has been our example for our developments. Then our production trials are being implemented in Pasco Engineering, which are injection molding experts for mold and tool making. Here we will prove the flexibility of the production setup for injection molding lines with focus on a pulse oximeter development. Our final target is to repurpose two industrial lines, Alves line and Producta industrial line. For the first case, Alves is working on automotive products. And now this line will be repurposed and will produce from now on vaccine spikes and ventilator accessories. And on the other hand, Producta, extrusion technologies, were experts on rubber extrusion. And now we are targeting to repurpose the lines for the development of ergonomic reusable respirator masks and other accessories. We have also supplementary activities, for example, from the activities from NIT that work on the finger pulse oximeter, as well as ESV that are working on the remote visualization of the line status for the process monitoring and a decision support. So here you may see in summary the products that we are developing within imPURE, personal protective a respirator mask, a half-face mask for healthcare workers with a comfort fit and antimicrobial properties, a fingertip pulse oximeter, and medical devices such as ventilator accessories, for example, splitters, and a vaccine spike. For all these products, we're trying to shorten the whole value chain from the design to the final use, trying to have a fast and adaptive manufacturing procedure. In this scheme, you see the collaboration between all partners and the transition from TRL 6 to TRL 8, working on materials, for example, either the raw materials used for 3D printing, the metal powders, or the polymeric materials used for the construction of the products. Then our main procedure, which is the injection molding, which needs both adaptation, changes, automations. Several partners are working on this together with modeling, simulation, and automation. And then we are proceeding to the final products, which has been developed from scratch, for example, the pulse oximeter, or have been redesigned to be optimized. And all of these are under the umbrella of material supply chain management from partners working on the distribution of the products, and of course the feedback from Soteria Hospital as an end user of our products. Our key milestone of success can classify in 4 tiers. We try to have this kind of process development in order to achieve our targets till May 22. Our project lasts for 18 months. So for the first tier that has been already achieved, we have the materials development and the molds design. Then the molds manufacturing through metal additive manufacturing, and then the optimization of the modified injection molding systems in order to achieve our last goal, which is the mass production of critical medical supplies and their integration in industrial lives. imPURE's expected impact can be seen in this slide. Our target is to foster industry's adaptation capacity and resilience in strategic sectors. For example, the manufacturing of medical equipment, personal protective equipment, and others, by demonstrating a flexible 48-hour industrial response capability for the requalification and release of the repurposed production lines. We want also to support industry and interested parties, in particular small, medium enterprises, by providing services for the design, assessment, testing, and also regulatory issues that are covering this kind of products. Our results will be delivered within 8 months to end users at scale, and we would like also to explore imPURE's applications to other industrial sectors, as you may see in the scheme below. That's all for our introduction. The project is coordinated by Professor Kostas Haritidis, and in the coordination team, we're together with my colleagues, Dr. Melpo Karamitru and Anastasia Alexandratou. And of course, you can follow further details in our website and the social media. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Kate, for the overview on the project. Just one information, as I wrote in the chat, you can write any question for the presentation that you are going to hear and see, and in the Q&A session, all the speakers can reply to your questions. Thank you. We can proceed with the second presentation of today, which will be given by Giulia Sala from Steel Gomma on the mass case, so the product design and production.
Good morning to everyone. I will share my video. Okay. Okay, you can, Stefania, you can see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Here, just in some slides, I described the role of Steel Gomma in this project, but first of all, I described the work that we are doing with all the other partners in order to achieve the 2 main purposes that we have in this project. As already mentioned before by Kate, we are producers of technical products in elastomeric materials, so rubber and silicon, and we have an injection molding area in which we produce all these parts. Here, we wanted to bring our experience in injection molding and technical aspects in order to achieve 2 main goals, which are the first one, find a way to be able to produce in a record time any device needed during an emergency. This is just a sentence in which there is a lot of work, and in order to be ready in the future to face any, let's say, any emergency. And also demonstrate how any production line can be easily repurposed. We started with our Berga mask, which is a mask that we designed and produced during the COVID pandemic during 2020, and we use this mask, this device as a case study. Here you can see some technical details about our mask, we have a mask with interchangeable filters, and so the scrap is really, let's say, we don't have a lot of scrap because we scrap just the used filter. And we have a plastic insert, a plastic holders in which we put the filter, and then we put this holder in the mask. Here you can see some images regarding different applications, because we have different filters dedicated to different applications. We use this case study in order to find a way to achieve the two goals that I described before. The first one is, to find a way to be able to produce a new product in just some days. And thanks to the other partners, for example, NTNU, the university, the Norwegian university, we decided to select the idea to produce cavities in 3D printing without any, let's say, machining, in order to save time and in order to have these new cavities in very little time. For the second purpose, so to demonstrate how any production line can be easily transformed, we decide to think about normal base molds with the space for interchangeable cavities. So in this case, you can see here the interchangeable cavity produced by additive manufacturing, put inside the base mold with, let's say, modular space, in order to use the same modular mold for also other cavities. And this is the, let's say, let's say, all the aspects that we are working on. And I think that after all these ideas and works, we will achieve a really okay goal, in order to have a standard results to be reused in the future.
Thank you, Giulia, for the presentation. If the participants have any question concerning this part of the project, the work that Stilgoma is doing, you can write it in the chat and Giulia will answer in the Q&A session. I would like to give now the floor to Dimitri Ladikos from Producta, which will give us a presentation again on the mask case, specifically to the repurposing for mask and accessories production.
Stefania, can you put my presentation?
Yes.
Because I'm not so good with technological and informatical elements.
You should be able to see it now, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. In my presentation here, I have put some info, and I will give you a quick picture of our participation to this very interesting imPURE project. First of all, Producta is a company specialized in the extrusion and molding of technical elements for the industrial market. And we have even developed during last 5-6 years a division for the recycling of polymers and plastic materials. So we have been included in this project thanks to Mr. Haritidis and his staff. Thanks to our know-how and technical skills according to plastic materials and the recycling of them and the injection molding of technical items. Specifically in imPURE project, we have projected and studied the particular element that contain the filter in order to make the filter changeable. And on the basis of the technical drawing given us and studied by Steel Gomma in the Bergamask, we have evaluated the possibility to repropose an existing tooling, making it modular and giving the possibility in the existing toolings and molding machine to produce this technical element for the Bergamask. In our you can see in our resume the existing mold and considered, and the analysis of the insection in the cavity and the modular possibility to use it. After this, we have realized some prototypes in plastic material in order to evaluate its technical functionality in the Bergamask. And now, after the realization of the modular part, we will start with the production of some elements of this Bergamask. The final step of our participation in this imPURE project is connected with the possibility to recycling not only these singular elements for the that we have evaluated and studied, but even for the recycling of all the Bergamask, in order to realize a post-production polymer that can be reused in the production of the Bergamask or in the production of other technical elements to put in the market. So this is our participation and our actions in the project. So if you have some clarification to required, I'm here. Okay.
Thank you, Dimitri. Here is your last slide. Thank you very much. Just a second that I stop sharing the screen. Again, if there are any questions concerning this part in the project, so specifically to the mass case, you can pose your questions in the chat, and Giulia and Dimitri will be more than happy to answer to any questions you may have. We will now proceed with a second case study, which is the oximeter case. I will now give the floor to Song Yan from the University of Strathclyde, which will give a presentation concerning the oximeter case, specifically production design. So you can share your screen and start your presentation.
Yeah, just share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Morning, everyone. My name is Song Yang, and my colleague Georgios mainly does design work in imPURE projects at the University of Strathclyde. Works on the design of the oximeter case. So today I will present the idea and the method we used and explain our final design on the oximeter case. So in order to generate the design concept of the oximeter case, we first consider and examine the production methods, such as injection molding and modular molds. Also, we need to comply with the principle of the process. Then we need to include the objectives of the research project. For example, we need to use a ceramic set insert, which is 3D printed by our partner Biology 3D when designing the oximeter case. And also, the product has to be as simple as possible to minimize the human factor in production and the assembly line. The third thing is that we need to work closely with NIT to confirm the final dimensions of the developed electronic devices as well as their functionalities. So then we were able to modify the dimension and the structure of the oximeter case design. After understanding these parameters and the requirements, the design techniques that we use to design the oximeter are design for manufacture and design for assembly. When talking about design for manufacture, we focus on the ease of manufacturing by eliminating complex features and tight tolerances. On the other hand, design for assembly refers to the ease of assembly, such as having a base component with locating and centering features, with the rest components fitting on it. Also, design for assembly make sure that as less components as possible to be used on the oximeter case design. Before preparing our oximeter design concepts, we searched the current commercial oximeter to examine their characteristics and identify their weakness. The main problem from current oximeters that too many components are included in one oximeter, such as many plastic and rubber components with overmolded transparent covers, springs, and cables. Also, some of them are quite complex, and a large number of them are using old technologies, such as transmission technology, which means LED light is located in the bottom side, while the light detector is on the other side. So after gathering and considering all the factors that affect the functionality and the assembly, including the sensor from the skin, how the printed circuit board fit inside, and ergonomics, we generated many oximeter design concepts, collaborating with our partners such as Pasco, NIT, Biology 3D to decide the final one. So the final design concept of the oximeter is shown here, which consists of a plastic case, which is the base component with guiding and locating features, so that the electronic board can be placed and fit securely. Then we have the lid to close the case. A USB cable can be connected to the oximeter through the lid, so data can be read and recorded. A plastic component is designed to hold the transparent cover and add extra stiffness on the assembly, and the transparent cover can protect the sensor. Then the rubber symbol can be added using overmolding process. The shape and material of the rubber symbol will be tested to fit most of the finger sizes. We thought that our design concept reduced the complexity and the number of components. It is also easy in assembly by using clarity one-way assembly method as shown in the picture to minimize the human effort. And at last, the reduction of the manufacturing cost can be achieved because all components can be produced by modular mode without complex features. So this is our idea for the oximeter case design. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there are questions, you can again write them in the chat, and we will collect them for the final session concerning Q&A. I will now give the floor to Raúl Guterres, which will give us a presentation concerning electronics for the oximeter. So Raúl, you can start sharing your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Estefania. I will just share it. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, but not in presentation mode. Okay, now we can see.
Now it is.
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you. Hello, I'm Raúl Gutiérrez, electronics manager here at imPURE's Technologies. And I have a presentation about our work in the oximeter case for the imPURE project. I will first give some general concepts about the pulse oximeter and then present some of our work towards the final design and show you a short demo video with the working oximeter. First of all, SpO2 measurement is just to give you an overview. It's a measurement of the hemoglobin that has mainly two states: oxygenated hemoglobin and deoxygenated hemoglobin. And the SpO2 measurement is the proportion, the percentage of the oxygenated hemoglobin for the total hemoglobin in the human body. The measurement principle, as Sonja has just advanced, is by absorption of the hemoglobin and transmission of the light. Mainly, the measurement is based on two wavebands where the oxygenated and deoxygenated hemoglobin behaves really different. Here you can see the red waveband where the deoxygenated hemoglobin has up to 10 times the absorption of the oxygenated one. And here in the near infrared band in 8 and 100 nanometers, the oxygenated hemoglobin has a greater absorption than the deoxygenated. There are mainly two topologies for this measurement: transmission and reflection. As Sonja has advanced, transmission is an odd one with several drawbacks that make us discard it, as it is higher complexity for the device, as the electronics must be on both sides of the finger, and it has heavy problems with nails and polished nails that affect the measurement. So we choose the reflection pulse oximeter, where the light emitting diodes and the photodetector are on the same side. This is just an overview. I will not go deeper, but the signal from the oximeter is pulsated at the Bluetooth in the human body. So the pulse could be measured just measuring the frequency of the pulses. These are the two wavebands, the red waveband and the infrared waveband. And the SpO2 measurements is calculated with these two formulas, where the AC and DC components of both signals are measured and computed to achieve this percentage of the SpO2 in the human body. I will go now to the explored concept that we worked together with Strathclyde University towards the final design. Our first concept was to do a finger clip oximeter we have two versions of this studied, but at the end, taking into account the design for assembly and design for manufacturability, these concepts were discarded due to the complexity and the electronics, the mechanical with the clips and components on both sides, and the manufacturability. So this was discarded. After that, we point to a rubber oximeter where the electronics is held in place with a kind of silicone material that holds all the sensors in the finger. This kind of concept design allows us to go for a single-site electronics and a more compact with the sensor and the processing electronics embedded in a two PCB sandwich. And at this stage, we have to take some precautions to make the system easy for an easy assembly. Here you can see one of the first problems where the electronics must be inserted in this way and then move to the top to hold the detector just on place, because the detector must be really close to the finger. And also at this point of the design, we identify one requirement from the sensor manufacturer that we need to place a transparent cover to protect the detector. With all of this, we converge to the final design. This is the final design of the electronics of the pulse oximeter for imPURE project. All the system is divided into boards. The bottom board is the processing electronic, and the top board is the sensor electronics. The design was carefully done to just place the detector on top of the sensor board and all the other components in the bottom board, to allow easy integration of the mechanical part to hold the plastic cover. Here are some precautions taken into account for the transparent cover, because you need to cover with the recognition of the LED and the photodetectors, just to not produce crosstalk. And this is a first manufactured version, just without just the electronic, without enclosure, just checking that everything works after the design and the manufacturing of the board. Here you can see the 3D printed first prototype after the final design of the enclosure. We have printed all. Here is the rigid case. This will be manufactured in silicon. Just for 3D printed, this is some kind of soft material, but not silicon. And this is the plastic cover holder. This is assembled, and here you can see the red light is from the red waveband of the LED, and the other LED cannot be seen at various sides because it's in the near infrared. Here you can see in my hands, this is the first prototype that you can hold in the finger. And that's this is the final slide with a short clip of the system working. Here you can see the plot of the two signals, the red one and the infrared one, and the processing is calculating. I'm not sure if you can see it correctly, but here is calculated the SpO2. I'm currently pretty healthy because I got at 100%. But this is the demonstration of the work done for imPURE here at New Infrared Technologies. And with this, I end my presentation.
Thank you very much, Raul, for this interesting presentation. We will proceed now with the presentation concerning production in pilot scale, again for the oximeter case study, which will be given by Grammy Scott from PASCO. Grammy, you are going to share your presentation, right?
Good morning. Yes, I'm going to share my presentation just now.
Perfect.
2 seconds.
Again, for any question, please write them in the chat so that we can collect them concerning the 3 case studies that are being presented today.
Okay, are you seeing my screen?
Not yet.
You are?
No, we cannot see it.
Ah, one second, hold on. There seems to be a share connect problem here. Yeah, I'm having a problem share connecting here.
I can share it. I have the one you sent.
Yeah, I'd added some to it, but if you wish, you can put it on screen and we'll just go through it slowly.
Have to allow to give permission to share the presentation.
Hi, Graham. Oh, I can share for you.
Okay, you have it there, Song Yang. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Just a minute.
So just a second that we start sharing the presentation. This will be the last concerning the oximeter case. Then we will pass to the vaccine spike case study. We will have 2 presentations, one which will be given by Piero Cremurati and another one by Zika Gozar. Okay, I see the presentation started, so please, Graeme, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much. For those who don't know, Pasco Engineering, we've been a mold-tool manufacturer for some 30 years now. We do concept design, mold tool design, we do the mold tool manufacturing and have our own in-house mold shop to produce the parts. For the task, for the imPURE, we were tasked with designing a modular mold tool assemblies for 3 injection mold tools, including the oximeter, the lid and cake glass, and the oximeter over mold tool. Alongside that, we've actually been doing traditional manufacturing of the oximeter tool itself in steel and waiting for finalisation of the AM printing inserts and sliding cores. For those who would like to know, we use a Fusion 360 for all our CAD design and for the computer-aided manufacturing. And as I said, it was based on an interchangeable modular mold system. The modular mold system comprises the core and cavities, integral cooling, and ejector systems. The split lines of the components, including the draft, we talked to Georgios on this matter with Song Yang, and we came up with the best design for releasing the tool, releasing the sliding cores to make the design simpler. Within this, we've also added 0.6% contraction into the component, and we've also added sliding cores to facilitate molding of the internal features. Demolding of the components is done via the sliding core and ejector system, and we've also taken into consideration the cavity sensors supplied by Kistler for monitoring the cavity pressures. We've also simplified. Normally we produce the tool slightly different from our own traditional manufacturing, but we went along the route of making sub-inserts, which is considering AM printing, who have a limited working area for printing. Next slide, Song Yang. So this is just a brief overview of the modular insert system for those who aren't aware of it. We have the cavity insert, we have an angle pin here which actuates a sliding core, the core insert, and then you can see a small sub-insert here which is will be manufactured by the AM processors. An integral ejector system with ejector pins for ejecting the part after the part has been molded. So that's basically the modular system. Again, these will all be interchangeable into the modular mud frame tool. repurposed, and you can see there on the side of the tool they have their own inlet outlet for water supply, and this will be directed into the modular inserts via O-rings. Yeah, next frame. There's just a general description, sectional view of the construction of the oximeter die set. Just for those who aren't aware of die construction, as I said before, from the top there's a sprue bushing there where the injection, the polymer is inserted into the tool. We have an angle pin here which actuates the sliding core, which is the internal details of the case. So on the tool opening, this angle pin will actuate and pull the sliding core back, forming the internal detail. The ejector system consists of a couple of plates below with ejector pins in it, and these on tool opening will be actuated through an ejector coupling at the bottom of the ejector system. This will be worked by the machine ram. So once the tool is open, the ejector ram will move the ejector system forward, moving the ejector pins forward and ejecting the part from the cavities itself. Next slide, please. Here you can see the Kistler sensor we've actually mounted onto the tool, and along with the sensors we've actually added ejector safety switch, and this is to make sure that the sliding cores can't be actuated without, or the ejector system can't be actuated without the sliding cores being withdrawn from the tool. Yeah. Along with this, as I said before, the modular system would consist of the die and inserts, but in this case, the Kistler sensor mounting bracket will actually be interchangeable as well. So when the inserts are withdrawn from the mud frame tool, the mounting bracket with the sensors will also be interchangeable at the same time. Next one, please. This is just a quick sketch showing the Kistler sensors. You can see how they're manufactured into the die set. A very small hole in the mounting bracket on the side, and they've been placed at the furthest point away from the flow as requested by Kistler. And you can also see the injection point for the component here. And the last frame. Sorry, there was supposed to be another frame. I'd added more frames into this. Yeah, we've also manufactured the electrodes for the tool. We have now initially sampled the oximeter mold tool. I'm now happy with the component size and it's stable in size. We have now just tested the oximeter lid, to which I've now got to take some test sizes and record the sizes, and we're going to place this along with the oximeter case, measure them in conjunction with it to finalize the cavity for the oximeter overmold tool. So we're fairly happy that the case is now complete. We have to finalize, hopefully it's finalized the case and the glass holder, and we'll be moving on shortly to the manufacturing. Well, we have already manufactured the oximeter overmold tool to about 80%. So now we're waiting on the spark corrosion of the final die set.
Thank you, Graeme. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
We are now going to the last case study, which will be presented today in the webinar, which is the vaccine spike and the ventilator splitter. So we will have two presentations. The first will be given by Piero Camurati from SIDAM concerning the product design of the vaccine spike and ventilator splitter. So Piero, please, the floor is yours. We can't hear you.
Yep, I was trying to switch on. I hope you can
yes, we
see
can
and hear me now.
Yes, confirmed.
Okay, so well, basically, we started this work considering an existing device. As you remember, when basically at the start of the imPURE project, we were also in the middle of good news, I would say, starting the vaccination campaign. And so out of some discoveries that we were making, working with some doctor and hospital, we've been starting checking on a previous device in order to find a good mechanism to deliver or administer a vaccine in the first phases, in particular due to the fact that some challenges were shown to us by the doctor. And so on one hand, there was a need to make some adjustment. On the other hand, there was also an opportunity to leverage this project as a real test for imPURE as well. And so we've been working on this. And basically the idea was to make sure that we could design a new device able to support the challenges that are shown here. As you probably know, and most of you might have seen on TV, we see a lot of this doctor using a syringe in order to make the right dose of vaccine for every patient. But actually, that's a practice which is having some risk and some challenges, both for the doctor and both for the patient. On the doctor side, of course, there is a risk to puncture themselves, and in addition, to have a little bit more difficulties in order to calculate the right amount of vaccine. And on the other hand, for the patient as well, the issue is that during this activity with the syringe, using the spike of the syringe, there is a risk that the spike can be damaged. But also there is basically, it's certain that it's going to remove the little silicone which is coating the syringe, sorry, the needle of the syringe. And so in that case, as it's been also demonstrated through some lab testing that we made, there is a good possibility that the patient would have pain out of the usage of that device. And in addition, there was also the request, as particularly in the beginning, to optimize as much as possible the amount of vaccine available. You remember that the official quantity was 5, but there was a possibility to have 6 doses out of a single vial available. And so basically we came up with this design, which is offering some advantages over the previous one. And in addition, due to the fact that it was a new and innovative design, we also applied for patent, and hopefully we should be able to get it recognized. So in this design, we were trying to combine the topics that we've seen before described. We've also, of course, a design that can be used and can support the following phase, as we will see later. In addition, we also made testing on the full set of materials in order to make sure that there is a compatibility between the material which is used and the drug formulation of the vaccine. So just in order to make sure that there are no contamination, there are no effect from the vaccine formula into the material which is used, and that's been approved, and we have the document supporting that. Well, I'm not going to get in detail about this, but there is also a video that has been produced in order to show how this is working. But basically the point is to have a single spike that can be used for multiple vial. So the single one can be used up to 300 times. And that makes sure that you can leave it on the bottle, and every time you can use the new syringe in order to prepare the right amount of liquid. So this is going to help the doctor in order to make sure they don't need to be concerned in piercing the tap with great attention. That would be the case when they use the needle of the syringe. In this case, the spike stays in the vial, and you can use it for up to the 6 dose that you are going to prepare. The preparation is easier. There is no effort to pierce the cap. And so, that's why there are a number of advantages in using this device for preparation. As we see here, and that was also interesting for us because it's the very first time that we are working on this type of design. But those handles are, due to the fact that the device is very small, are helping the doctor to grab it safely, and also to reduce the effort in order to pierce the cap, which is the first part. In addition, having this external handle, we are able to reduce the cavity that you see here, which is used to transfer the liquid, in order to make sure that we can minimize as much as possible the amount of wasting of substance for the reason that we well know, because every dose is important, and it's important not to waste any amount, or having the real possibility to prepare 6 doses out of 5 standard preparation. The second part, Stefania mentioned, was instead related to again, something that we've been unfortunately seeing a lot during this time. So it has to do with a ventilator, or in any case also with breathing aids that are used in assisting people that are having COVID infection. So in this case, we decided to design this splitter, which is basically helping in those emergency situations where you have a lack of instrument and machine to support the patients. And so in this case, you are having the possibility to use one single ventilator for 2 patients at the same time. And this is something that, of course, in certain circumstances, has been used widely. And so we decided it was also a good candidate for this project. And basically here you can see the type of usage that I was describing before, where you are having one ventilator through the splitter that can be connected to, of course, using a specific tubing and the filter that you have to have when you're coming close to the mask. But the point is that those things are more available. What can be lacking is the actual ventilator machine, and so that was the idea behind this development, which is something that we are currently working on finalizing the molding. Just to close, as an additional information, we've been taking the opportunity together with Warrant to be present at the Congress of Intensive Care, because I mean that's clearly the area which is mostly connected to the scope that we were having. And so we had this opportunity to, there has been a lot of interest for the project by this community. So the head of the hospital department for reanimation and intensive care. And so they were hosting a workshop in a plenary session on Thursday, September the 2nd, which has been actually moderated by the president of their society. And it was an interesting discussion, somehow exposing this community to the fact that Europe, the European community is putting a lot of effort in this area in order to support what is their effort as well. And also to get from them some feedback in order to understand as much as we can how to better cooperate, how to better have suggestion, indication, and requirement coming from basically the main user of what we do. And I think that's all. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Piero. Indeed,
Thanks to you.
joining the EasyChem conference has been quite interesting for the project. We got many feedback, both within the workshop that was organized as well as at the stand that we hold. So I hope that we will have many more feedbacks in future events, but those have been really interesting for us. As a reminder, of course, we will have other webinars which will deal with other aspects of the project, and one of these is the collaborative supply chain platform, because one of our objectives is to scale up also the supply chain for critical medical supplies, and this topic will be discussed in one of the future webinars that will be organized. This is the first of 4. So I will now give the floor to Ziga Gozar from Elves to have a presentation on industrial line repurposing for the vaccine spike and ventilator splitter case. This is the last presentation, and then we will open the floor for any question that may have arisen with the participants. Thank you.
Hi, hello. I'm Ziga Gozar. I'm from company Ilves, and I will present to you, let's say, in this webinar, our activities in the imPURE project. So I know that you do not know, let's say, our company. For this reason, I will just present you short. So company Ilves was founded in 1991. This is totally 100% private-owned company located in Slovenia with 160 employees, and we have about 60 million of turnover. Our specialty is, let's say, that we are 95% automotive industry, and in this imPURE project, we are collaborating with R&D partners to change these tools, to repurpose the tools which are not anymore used. So on the left, you can see our injection molding tool, let's say different kind. In the middle, you can see different kind of injection molding machines. And on the right, you can see our assembly lines with different wire harnesses. So the role, our role in project imPURE is the repurposing of existing injection molding lines in industrial sites. As you can know, let's say there are a lot of injection molding tools that companies have, and these injection molding tools are made just for one project. And after end of project, these tools are not used anymore and they go to scrap. And for this reason, in the imPURE project, we want to make a repurposement. And in the project imPURE, we have, let's say, a good feeling. Let's say we see the future of this modularity and repurposing of the tools. Our company has, in the project, we are participating because we have a lot of experience with this, let's say, overmolding of grommets. Because over here in cable harness production, we have, let's say, one injection molding tool where we have exchangeable inserts, and then we can overmold different kind of grommets. So on the bottom, you can see, let's say, grommet on a cable, grommet on a wire harness, different grommets on different cable harnesses, let's say with 3 wires, 4 wires, 6, 7 wires. So this is then not a problem. And for this reason, we in imPURE project, we see a big potential, let's say, that we make a repurposing also on other injection molding tools, which are, let's say, more sophisticated with ejector system and so on. Because in wire system, you can see that we are not using any ejector system. Only the worker manually takes out the wire harness, which is overmolded with a grommet. So with our imPURE partners, we made a 3D model of injection molding tool. We also made a 2D drawings with all the required tolerances, and also now this insert is made with additive manufacturing. And now that this is made, let's say, prototype series, now that also we know what are the dimensions of the injection molding tool, the project time schedule is, let's say, follows, let's say, next steps. So first, with our partners will send us the 3D printed parts, let's say metal 3D printed parts. These are these inserts. Then we will take the injection molding tools with these 2 cavities. We will make a repurposing of the injection molding tool, put it on the injection molding machine, and in January 2023, we will make our first tool trials where we will get these Vesine spikes and also ventilator splitter like it was presented before. And during these tool trials, we'll also make some optimizations so that we will get also into these, let's say, tolerances. And after that, we plan to have a run and trade process for confirmation of the injection molding tool and also acceptance of the production process. So at the end of the project, we will have confirmed, let's say, PPAP, which means production part approval process. We'll confirm all the technologies that are used now in the imPURE project, and also we'll confirm that the repurposing of the injection molding tool is suitable with run and trade tests. So for any further questions, you can contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zviga, for the presentation on industrial line repurposing. So you have all listened to the presentations concerning the 3 case studies that are being studied and developed within imPURE project: the mass case, the oximeter case, and the vaccine spike and ventilator splitter case. I would like now to ask to our participants, especially the external ones which are not project partners, if they have any question concerning the presentations that have been made today by our project partners. Of course, partners are within the project activities, so they can answer you. They are being developing the activities. So for any question, you can or open your microphone and pose the question directly to them, or write questions in the chat so that they are able to answer, if any. Otherwise, everything was clear from the presentations. I have to thank the speakers to have been on time concerning the stick scheduling of the webinar. I know we had many presentations, but was needed as an introduction to the case studies of the project, as well as the activities developed and the future ones that are scheduled for the near future. So questions or comments, feedbacks from the work developed? Okay, I see that from Maxime from EMC2, there are no questions.
Stefania, can I tell to the partners something that is not so specific with the imPURE project, but is connected with it? We have started the project evaluating the possibility to repurposing existing tooling or machine for the realization of the mask and its elements, right? Now we are facing on a problem regarding the purchasing of raw materials. For example, last week, our suppliers of silicone rubber informed us that it's very difficult to find the material during this period. They will accept any order, but they can give the assurance on delivery time and quantities. So this could be a problem that we have to evaluate in the future for the realization of the production, of the mask, and for making tests on the materials for recycling them. I want to hear what the partners think about it, and if they find the same situation on the market.
Thank you, Dimitri, for the question. This is a topic that we are also focusing and attentioning in the task dedicated to the collaborative cloud platform for supply chain. But I open the floor to the partners to answer and give feedback on this topic. Maybe mainly to Graeme, Raul, Ziga,
Piero.
Which is your thought about this? Any comment?
Yeah, I fully agree with Dimitri. There are many issues on materials of several types, and I mean we are having challenges this time in both ways. The worst situation is when you don't really find anything. And in any case, a bad situation is when you have to pay more, or sometimes much more than expected to have exactly the same thing. But certainly, this is, I would say, somehow an unexpected challenge that we are facing this year. But I remember, as Stefania mentioned, we started the discussion a few months ago as some preliminary symptoms were showing up, and I think now we see the full effect of those symptoms. It's an issue.
Thank you, Piero.
Yes, Giga Gosar here from company Ilves. I would like to let you know, let's say, that yes, also we have a lot of problems getting the right materials, but for this reason we are closely cooperating with our customers, and we are, let's say, making tool trials with different materials so that we confirm the proper material, let's say, alternative material to these original materials.
Okay.
And then we have, let's say, different problems because we have different shrink ratios, different structure of glossiness. But for this reason, let's say now in this Corona crisis, we just must make, let's say, the best of all these problems. And for this reason, we are also writing a lot of requests for deviations so that our customers confirm all of these, let's say, different materials.
So Ziga, if I have well understood, considering the difficulty to find some standard material you use in your production, you are trying to find new materials
Alternative material, yes.
alternative material, and propose to your customers the product even with the alternative material.
Yes, of course, but nevertheless, our customer must always confirm if we use this alternative material, so that we supply him, let's say, the parts. Otherwise, we cannot supply the parts because there is just no material on the market. And
I
we
understand.
have big problems with all of these ABSs or PCABS, Bay Blend T85, and so on.
In fact, I know that, for example, in ABS, the situation is really very critical. There is no material in the market. ABS, it's, for example, I find the same problem with, for example, polyamide. There is no polyamide in the market at the moment.
The polyamide, we had a lot of problems at the beginning of the year, and also now it is just catastrophe. Whatever we get, we are just happy that we received some material, and then we try to do it without scrap. But as you know, also now, let's say, these grinders are coming more and more into place, so that we can reuse the plastic. And now we are, let's say, also making mixtures with different kinds of, let's say, used materials.
Ziga, I will contact you after the meeting in the next days with an email to speak about this, because I think we can find some actions together.
Yeah, mutual points,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Raul, I don't know.
Grazie, Stefania.
Grazie, Dimitri. Raul, I don't know which is your point of view on this, since you're working on electronics. Also in this field, there are some problems.
Yes, we are working on electronics and suffering this. I'm not sure, but I think we are, sorry, I'm not sure, but I think electronics was the first market to be impacted by the zero stock on some components, the shortage problem. We've been dealing with this since the end of the last year, and this is every day worse than we are getting worse and worse. We are now in the worst moment of problem. We are receiving expected delivery times of more than a year for some critical components, 60 weeks, 70 weeks. We have placed orders for some components for our cameras that luckily will
17 weeks.
Yes, 70.
70.
70. We have some orders that have been placed to receive some critical components at the end of the next year, for September 22 or so on. Our experience is when we start in the electronics market seeing this problem, that's the beginning to go to a higher problem, because when everybody feels that there are no materials, that there is a shortage, everybody wants to overstock. So if you are purchasing just for the next 3 months, when you know that there is no components on the market for the next 3 months, you will try to purchase for the next 6 or 12 months. And when everyone's trying to overstock, the thing goes towards fast. I hope that after the overstocking, there are some relax on this. In the electronic side, we are starting to see not in the components, not in the electronic components, but in the printed circuit boards that are made of materials like polyamides or so on, like you were talking about. There are shortages also. So we are starting to see shortage in this kind of raw materials for IFR4, that is the most standard system. We work with some suppliers that are taking for us the good decision to keep with the customers that are for some time with them, and not taking new customers. But from our point of view, situation is critical, and in the electronics, specifically in the electronics, we are now speaking about 2023 to be less critical. But every 6 months, after every 6 months, the expectations are 6 months later. We hear that in the mid 21 there will be less critical, and then in the end of 21, and then in the mid of 22, and now I reading news about 23. So these are hard times for everyone.
Yeah, we are seeing it in imPURE project also from Jules Verne side, which is another partner that did not give a presentation today, but there are metal powders, wild wire that are difficult to find in the market. We will talk about this in one of our next webinars where Jules Verne will be a speaker of concerning their part in the project. I would like just to write a comment that is in the chat given by Maxime, which is quite nice. He thanks us for the presentations, which are all clear, so no questions from his side, although he posed us a comment, which I would like to read. So he says, if you did not reach yet, H2020 project entitled Reservist could benefit from feedbacks and R&D results of imPURE. Indeed, H2020 Reservist deals with repurposing manufacturing lines for providing medical and other products and services in case of spiking demand times. So I think this is quite an interesting comment and suggestion, so we will for sure be in contact with them. I don't know if you want open your microphone and speak, say a few words, Maxime. So
thank you for the opportunity to interact with you. Actually, I'm not involved in this H2020 Reservist project, but I heard about it, and it's a 24 months long project, 2 years duration. And according to the topic of this project, I believe it would be really interesting for this consortium to benefit from your results.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. And thank you very much for the suggestion. We will contact this project. We are also in contact with our sister projects funded in the same call of imPURE to find some synergies and future events. And I would like also to thank you for the question, the comment to find ways to organize joint activities. I think this is always a nice opportunity to share ideas and perspectives also with stakeholders which are external to project partners, as this webinar has been organized. So thank you very much, Maxime.
You're welcome. Maybe we could think about organizing a joint event between H2020 projects. I'm working at Pôle EMC2, which is a cluster very close to IRT Jules Verne, actually. We are based in the same building. That's how I got invited
We
to
have
your webinar.
representatives here from Jules Verne in the meeting today. So I think they will be happy to have you on board also with joint activities.
Yeah, so maybe
Yes.
we could
Hello,
talk.
Stefania. Yeah, we
Hi.
already talked about the project that Maxime managed, Great to Excel in the task, networking. So
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Absolutely. And this is one of the aim of our work package, which deals with the engagement with stakeholders, other projects, to find synergies and solutions which are jointly has objectives and expected results. So for sure, we will be in contact. So thank you very much. I see there are no other questions. I would like to give the floor to Alberto and Kate if they would like to say some ending words to the webinar. Of course, the meeting has been recorded and will be available in our project website. So if you want to see it again and others that are not able to join today, We had many participants which are external to project partners, and if any question arise, the contacts are in the presentations, so you can contact directly partners, or you can contact us as project partners, dissemination manager, the project coordinator, in case you have any question on the topics presented today. The next webinar will be on fast-track modular mold development and metal additive manufacturing for injection molding molds manufacturing. It will be between January and February 2022, so many information will follow. I don't know if Alberto, Kate, you would like to give some words to close the webinar.
Oh, thank you, Stefania. No, only for say that we are in your disposition. We are working for dissemination of our imPURE project, and so if you want to know more which we are doing, don't hesitate to contact us. And so only the next meeting for to continue with success in our project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alberto. Kate?
Yes, from our side, first of all, we'd like to thank you for the organization of the webinar, this one and the rest that will follow, to invite all partners to follow and disseminate the webinars, because this is a very nice chance, both for the partners of imPURE to work more close and to see what all parties are doing, and also to show the impact of the project to all stakeholders. Don't forget that this is the main goal of imPURE, to have a high societal impact and to reach Tier 8, which means that we need to offer products to the community. And this can be only done if we try to show what we are doing here. So thank you all for your efforts.
Thank you very much, Kate. Indeed, I completely agree. So I think we can close the webinar, and you will receive additional information for the next ones. The registration will be the same, so you will receive the link to register for the next ones. So we will be in contact. Thank you very much all for joining today.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.